As you can see, nothing's primed. I wanted to do a video on setting up for the lighting. So what I did first was I put this block in. I have some scrap 1x3 poplar, so I cut it down, and then I also had to cut some grooves in there to be able to accommodate these angles here, because I decided to put my hole here. I didn't want to put it here. It's too close to this end piece where I'm going to have lighting, and I didn't want to get up in here, so I wanted that detail to stand out, so I put it there. So anyway, after cutting it and sanding a little bit here and there, I 5-minute epoxied it to the base of the hole, and then I went to drill some holes and stuff for the lighting. So what I have here, maybe it'll work better this way. What I did was I took a thumb screw, and I'll put a link to where you can get these in the description. It just makes it easier to use your fingers and get in, because this is a real tight spot. So I put in about 4 holes, and then took my X-Acto blade, cut it out, and kept shaving it till I got a nice opening here to be able to feed wires through. So now I'll be able to feed them through that hole and up through these pylons. I did the same thing with this piece that goes on the pylons here. As you can see, I measured the same distance of the holes in the bottom hull, cut that out and filed it down. This piece that glues on to this wing part, and I measured out here, and I cut it using number 18 chisel blade here, and then of course took my files and sanded it all smooth. So now when I run my wires and glue them in here, then I'll be able to put this piece on top and glue it. And as you can see, once this piece goes in, if I can get it to go in, there we go. Then I'll have my slot right there that the wires can come up, and this part here is inside the nacelle, so wires will be able to come up here, and I'll be able to do my motors for the rotating blades, and then my power to the back of the engine exhausts. Working on the base for this, what I started with here is a 5x7 artist's wood block. You use them to paint them, decoupage, whatever, but I use them for a base because it's nice and sturdy. As you can see on the bottom, the outside frame is pretty thick. The top, however, is very thin. As you can see, it's not very thick. So what I did is take another piece of poplar, cut it down, 5-minute epoxied it, and set it in here so it gave me some depth and stability for the rod. So I took a smaller drill bit after I found my center, which you find a center from measuring corner to corner. Smaller drill bit, drilled all the way through, and then took 3/16 bit, measured down how far I wanted to go before coming out the back end, taped that off on my drill bit, drilled it down so that now my rod will go in there and it'll stop. It won't go all the way through. This is it's a 3/16 K&S. You can get it on Amazon or eBay. It's really easy to find. So what I'll do with this is I'll encase it in styrene, because I don't like sealing this and sanding it and painting it, and I just don't like doing that. So I encase it in styrene, and then spray it with a black along with the rod, which is a paint that will adhere to plastic and to metal, and that will set everything up for my base. So I'm going to do some more of this, the base, and start doing the wiring, and I'll come back for part 3 and show you doing the wiring. So this is going to do it for part 2. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for subscribing, and I will see you for part 3.